I'm Mark.
And I'm Zach.
Every week, on a Saturday, in the Fab Radio International Studios,
we discuss 3 of the week's comic book releases and decide if we want to...
pull or pass. Hello and welcome to Pull or Pass, your weekly geeky comic book show. This is issue 18 and I am Mark.
And I am Zach.
Hiya, Zach.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'm alright. It's another slow news week though, so what I thought we'd do, as it's just been Chinese New Year, I thought we'd have a fortune cookie live on air because we can.
I love fortune cookies.
So that's what we're going to do.
This is the best day.
We have got so little news that I'm confident we've got enough time to enjoy a fortune cookie.
I was going to ad-lib and just make news up like we did that time. But this is even better.
You've got to read your motto though.
Fortune, surely.
It's in 4 languages, I've got to work out which one's English. Für den Weisen ist jeder Tag ein I don't think that's English.
Good effort, though. Good effort.
For the wise man, every day is a festival. Your go.
You will outdistance all your competition.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I will.
Go for it, Zach.
I don't really see myself as in competition with anyone. I think I've already won, but...
Happy Chinese New Year, anyway.
Yeah, and happy Fortune Cookie Saturday.
Ash?
Can we do this like as a regular?
Probably not.
Oh.
Anyway, it is Pull or Pass, and I've got one bit of news. Well, I've got some kind of like us news and show news, but the one bit of actual comic book news is that Sabrina Series 3 has been released on Netflix.
So it has. Haven't seen any of it yet. I saw the like promo image today, which looks really cool.
I've watched the first episode, and it is as good as it has been so far.
Cool.
I've just really enjoyed Sabrina. I've liked how the teenage horror. You know, I grew. Buffy was my favourite program, probably one of my favourite programs in all of ever, and Angel, and just teenage horror is for me. So I was always going to like it. So I don't really have anything other than to say, yay, more episodes, and I'm going to watch more.
Yeah, fair. I think I'm going to watch them all pretty soon, hopefully. Looking forward to it, though. Looks cool, and it's been cool so far, so
yeah,
double cool.
Yeah, so if you like Sabrina, and you didn't know, it is now available on the Netflix.
The Netflix, yeah.
The Netflix.
Incidentally, I hear Melissa Joan Hart's going to be at Liverpool Comic Con, if you've always wanted to meet her. Yeah,
well, I mean, that's cool. I'm not really that into Comic Con stuff. I like dressing up, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not into meeting people. I'm more into the dressing up bit.
Fair.
Yeah.
And I think you would make an incredible Zelda.
Zelda?
Yeah, I think you're a Zelda.
I was thinking more Richard O'Brien from the Crystal Maze, or
I was going Buffy. No,
I
was going Sabrina themed.
Do you think I could get away with being Moondragon? She got no hair either.
I think you need to get a big enough collar, but that's the only real restriction.
I could be like Sun Dragon, because when you do crossplay, you're supposed to be like the opposite. So when I did the Scarlet Witch, I was the Scarlet Warlock and stuff, and you could be the Black Widower. So, but unfortunately, Moondragon isn't a gendered name, so I can't really gender switch that.
I mean, you can just power through with it, you know.
I could just be Moondragon.
I think you'd be a good Moondragon.
Anyway, have you got any news?
I've got one thing. It's not the biggest of news, but it is news, and it does concern England. So,
cool.
Well, it concerns Yorkshire specifically. So the the Thought Bubble lineup for this year has been announced. Well, some of it. Obviously, we're 10 months away, so
that is a good early announce.
But it is very much a Zach and Mark announcement to begin with. I'm not going to read out everyone. I'm just going to hit the ones that I think. So, Joe Hill.
What?
Chip Zdarsky.
What?
G. Willow Wilson.
I don't know who that is.
Miss Marvel.
Oh.
Right. Emma Rios. Becky Cloonan.
S.A. Rios?
Emma Rios, the artist for Pretty Deadly.
Not S.A. Rios.
No.
For those of you who don't enjoy 90s wrestling.
No one's seen S.A. Rios since 1999.
So if you're not into 90s wrestling, you won't get the S.A. Rios reference. Look it up, though, because it's like
Cracky
best moonsault. Yeah. Best of all moonsault. Anyway, carry
on. Becky Cloonan and Babs Tarr are the big names that immediately jumped out to me.
I mean, That's actually quite impressive. I've been slightly flippant, and I would like S.A. Rios to be there. We can hope. But yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Like I said, that's not the full lineup they've announced, but it is a solid start. And
it's 14th and 15th of November in the Harrogate Convention Centre, innit?
That's right. Look at you having the same notes as me.
I know.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I went last year, and hoping we can go in a kind of pull or pass capacity this year.
A pull or capacity?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a terrible pun. I retract it immediately.
No, I stand by it.
Did you? Right. You were talking before we went on air about how everyone gets our show name wrong.
Yeah, I think people who don't either read comments, even people who listen to us, which is a weird one, keep calling us push or pull. And
I mean, that is a very different show in my head.
I mean, you know what? It's close. I can see what
it's 30. It's 66% there with the 3 words. So that's all right.
It's real close.
Yeah,
but it does annoy me every time,
including the guy who runs Fab Radio. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah,
and segue there, talking about Paul. I was on his show on Fab Radio a couple of weeks ago, and that will be on Listen Again now if you missed it. It was a show called 7 at 7. And you basically, his guests pick 7 songs that mean something to them. So I picked 7 songs that mean something to me. And they're all very, very different. They go from Motown to German death metal to weird 90s indie to emo stuff. And the song I would like to be played when people leave my funeral. So there you go. It's a fun concept, and I really enjoyed it. And if you want to listen again to that, it will be put online. It should be up there by now, and it will be on mixcloud.com/Ripman_rockabilly. So there you go. 7 at 7. I enjoyed it immensely. It's a shame Paul's pulled it, and he's doing a different show now.
All right.
I'd have enjoyed your 7 at 7.
Yeah, I think I've got a good 7 at 7 in me. Maybe we should just do a...
I could ask Paul if I can nick it and
we'll
just do it for you.
Pull or pass after dark 7 at 7 with Zach.
We could do. We could only put it on Mixcloud, though.
Or I'll just allude to the songs I would have played.
That would be a poor 7 at 7 if we didn't actually play the songs, though.
Just hint what they could have been. I'll cover them all.
You'll cover them. Brilliant.
I'll bring a guitar and a keyboard with me, and I'll do them all live in the studio.
Brilliant.
I think that could be possibly the worst hour of pull or pass.
That does sound bad. But we could come up with something if Paul lets us have it. He might let us have it. He might not.
I think we need a music backup show.
Talking about music backup shows, we are actually going to do a music show that's... Well... If you listen to us in podcast version rather than on Fab Radio International, the most listened to internet radio station in all of Europe, if you don't listen to us live or you don't listen to the Mixcloud, you miss out on the music that we play. And some of the music we play is non-copyright because it's by him. So we thought we'd do a show where we can actually put music in the podcast. So we're going to do an After Dark, which will come out on... Tuesday, yeah.
I think that's the day
we'll stick it up on Tuesday for you.
Yeah.
So that's coming. That's coming for you. And then it's got all of Zach's music on. Should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I still think I should be doing it all live, though.
Live? Singing live?
Singing live. We've got microphones, clearly.
We do. You can if you want.
I think that's a future episode for us.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't.
Cram a full band into this tiny space.
You could.
I'm going to leave that one open for future possibilities.
For reals. Talking about After Dark, we're going to do another one with Rory from our book group.
We are.
Because it's book group next week. Tell people about your book group next week, Zach.
So that book group is Manchester Comic Book Club. We're available on Facebook. We're also Mank Comic Book on Twitter. We're going to be reading All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. And
that's Tuesday at 7, right?
That's Tuesday at 7 at the Bank on Mosley Street. Mosley Street.
But after that, we're going to grab... We're hoping that this will become a regular thing. We're going to grab Rory, who is one of the regular attendees, and we're going to just have a chat about it after the book group, kind of like reflect on what people were chatting about in the book group, see if it sticks, see if it works, and if it does, we'll have a different guest every time from the book group.
We've kind of foreshadowed that. We did the TKO,
and
the first book for the year
and
was
Will's
Sentient,
from that book group, isn't he?
Yeah, so we've got a pool to draw from for.
So we'll see. We're going to give it a go.
Third
see if
voices.
it's any good, and if it's not, then we might do it again.
Or we will, and we won't care what you think.
Also possibility.
Yeah,
but yeah,
real
After Darks,
hard
we're
to
going to
say
be we're getting crazy with the After Darks. We've got loads of ideas, and we may or may not do them. So yay!
Yeah, I think we'll do them all.
For those of you that don't know what After Darks are, thinking about it, if you are a new listener, they are basically we record live for Fab Radio International, and we broadcast at 11 and 11 every Saturday, and we do a truncated podcast version where we take out the music and put that as a podcast up through Spotify and all of that malarkey. Just look for Pull or Pass. And when we decide that we've got other comic book stuff that we want to chat about that doesn't fit the show format, we just record it when we like, stick it up on a Tuesday, and call it Pull or Pass After Dark, because the name After Dark amused both of us, and we're both quite childish.
This is true.
That covers it, right?
That pretty much covers it. I feel like we've almost covered it too well.
Have you noticed how slow a news week this is?
This is so slow a news week that it's turned into just a
it has been
rolling
a bit
promo for other things.
It has been a bit of a self-love fest. So should we stop
Even
it?
the news we had was promo of things that exist.
Yeah, and I mean, Thought Bubble's run by Travelling Man, who are our sponsor.
Yeah, so that...
Should we talk about our sponsor?
Sure, they're Travelling Man.
They are. They're lovely.
And that's where we both have our pull.
We do.
And, yeah, they hook us up with our comics every week and that. They're based in Manchester, Newcastle, Leeds, and York.
They are,
and they do all the things really. They're
your local comic book shop, but they are so much more, Zach.
Yeah, they got your manga, they got your graphic novels, they got your CCGs, they got your
what's a CCG?
Collectible card game. Come on, Mark,
oh,
you're
okay,
a nerd.
right. so like the magical one and
yeah, Magic and Pokemons. And...
Yeah. They got board games, which is more my kind of a thing. I do like an adult board game, not Triple X, more kind of like designed for grown-ups.
Oh man, why wasn't there a Triple X board game?
There should be. Oh wait, are you talking about the film?
Yeah,
I was talking about sex.
I thought you were, but
yeah,
I think both ideas stand.
So do I. Anyway, carry on.
They also sell other things like
plushies,
yeah, and
badges,
occasional T-shirts,
geeky things.
Hey, look at that, my badges. So you can get yourself.
They do sell your badges.
Zach Reagan antisocial people person pin.
You can.
God, I love the amount of P's in that.
Travelling Man have got an offer on, Zach. Let's do our job properly.
Is it still Boom 3 for 2?
It is. They've gone back to the Boom 3 for 2 thing. So if you like Boom comics and you want like 3 graphic novels, you only have to pay for 2 of them.
It's a pretty good deal, to be fair. I mean,
it is better than having 3 and paying for 3, isn't it?
It is. And Boom, some good books. Some good books we've read.
Yeah.
In fact. And Power Rangers, man. Power Rangers
Not
series
Power
is real
Rangers.
good. It's brilliant. You'll love it.
Right. That
Evil
is
Tommy.
that is our very much padded out news. Shall we talk about this week's comics?
Yes.
We read Avengers of the Wasteland from Marvel, Protector from Image, and Quantum and Woody from Valiant.
Yes, we did.
Should we do Avengers first?
Yeah.
All right. So Avengers of the Wasteland is set in the world of Old Man Logan, and it gives you, well, kind of Old Man Logan Avengers in a sort.
Yeah. So this is post all the Old Man Logan stuff we've seen. So post Dead Man Logan, post Old Man Logan, post Old Man Hawkeye, maybe post Old Man Quill. It doesn't really specify. And that's an interesting one. In one way, it makes me think, well, I haven't read all of those. I've read some of them. But this kind of makes me curious about what I have missed, because it feels like this world is pretty far away from the Old Man Logan world Mark Miller started.
Yeah.
And I kind of see that as a positive thing. I think
I like that there's a lore, but I did find that a little bit alienating in some places. You're expected to know some things that I just simply didn't.
Yes, I agree. I think because we haven't read Dead Man Logan and I didn't read all of Old Man Hawkeye. I think I just read the first 6 issues. I think it was 12 in total.
Right.
So I think because I kind of fell off on a few of these or didn't pick them up, I feel like there's little bits I don't know about. I didn't know Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' daughter was Thor now.
Yeah.
I'm really into it though. I like. We talked about Jessica Jones recently, and Danny was in that as a baby. It's nice seeing her as Thor.
Was that a reveal in this comic, or had that already been established in this Old Man Logan world?
It's difficult to say.
See, that's the thing. I don't know, and
it
didn't make it clear, and it did come as a nice surprise that Danny is all grown up, and so she's Thor now. Good.
Yeah, I like that. I like Jane Foster as Thor, and I think it's nice to see that female Thor isn't just a one-off thing. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, and I like. I like it when people are worthy. It's always interesting.
And another thing that I was glad about was that I was glad there was no Logan.
Yeah.
Because I would have felt that Marvel have always been guilty of that in the past, putting high-profile guest stars in to make people buy the comic.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they didn't. I think it gives it a little more integrity.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's... He gets referenced, obviously, but I like that we're...
Which is fine.
In this post-apocalyptic wasteland world, I like that we're kind of moving forward. I think it would be very easy to... I know Old Man Hawkeye was kind of a prequel to Old Man Logan.
Right.
So I feel like that was very much, hey, let's tell something else in that story. So I think it's cool to move away from padding out that story and start padding out that world.
Yeah, and the other thing I really liked was how there are relics of our world. So people finding stuff like Mjolnir, or finding stuff like Cap's shield, or finding Ant-Man's helmet, and then becoming new versions by inspiration and acquisition. I quite like that.
I agree. I think because of when I got into comics, I am quite a fan of the legacy character vibe. I liked Dick Grayson as Batman, and other such examples exist.
Yes.
None come to mind right now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Miles Morales, other characters where the torch is passed, and I like that. I like that we've got a new Hulk, a new Ant-Man, a new Thor. I like that kind of legacy feel. I think it frustrates me in Marvel and DC, to be fair, that they do a lot of legacy characters and then a lot of backtracking to keep everyone happy. But
do you want to know a Marvel one where they haven't backtracked?
Go on.
Thunderstrike. Actually true. Kevin Masterson is the new Thunderstrike, having grown up after his dad died being Thunderstrike, which is a dead nice story, and that's actually in the Marvel universe.
And that's Legacy Thunderstrike.
It is Legacy Thunderstrike.
And Thunderstrike, he's Legacy Thor, so...
No, he's not.
I mean, he takes Thor's place.
He did. Was he the first mortal that was worthy, Eric Masterson? Because Donald Blake doesn't count.
Yeah, Donald Blake's kind of a grey area. Maybe, and he's the Thor in the Infinity War comic, which is amazingly weird.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, the Infinity War comic is amazingly weird
and bonkers
within itself.
Yeah,
but that's the thing I like in it.
So there you go. I mean, obviously Thunderstrike probably isn't the most high-profile example, but I think it's one of the most legitimate because it hasn't been mucked with.
No, and
he's a young Avenger.
Been passed on,
Kevin Masterson is a young Avenger, and he's got his dead dad's hammer.
Yeah.
Mace.
So yeah, I like to go back to what we were on.
I did a tangent.
I like the tangent.
I did a tangent.
I like legacy. I like the idea that characters aren't forever, and eventually they pass the torch to someone else who is worthy or green enough or eager enough to shrink.
Right.
So I like that. And let's be honest, I like stories in the future. So do you.
I also like that Doctor Doom is still badass.
Yeah, Doom. We've mentioned it a lot. We like Doom.
We do.
He's a good egg. I mean, he's not. He's one of the worst eggs.
Vile.
But he has some amazing moments.
And within very few panels, I had sympathy for Ultron. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
I have got a real soft spot for Ultron. Big fan of his work. That sounded bad. You know, ending the human race, turning Tony Stark into a robot woman. That was all great moments for the Ultrons. Incidentally, good name to give you hard drives is Ultron. I've named all of them Ultron. It's going great.
Great. I think mine have all got names like Bob and Dave and Sally. They've all just got random names. The first name that comes into my head.
I started a theme when I was in like college, and I've just ran with it now for like the best part of 10 years.
Good.
So always call your external hard drives Ultron. That's my advice.
Okay, good.
So,
I liked the cliffhanger, and it wasn't ruined by the front cover.
Yeah,
there's been a trend of front covers ruining
been a lot of that lately.
The cliffhanger, and this didn't. So good.
Came very much from out of the blue, and I liked it as well.
I did. I suspected that I was going to really like this or struggle with it.
Yeah, I think we both said that.
And I really liked it and struggled with it.
Yes,
which
I think the challenge was not being up to speed on the universe. If you are, right, yes. if you've powered through and read all of it, I think, this is exactly probably what you're going to want. For us coming into this, I'm kind of almost wanting to maybe read Old Man Hawkeye all the way through, and Old Man Quill and that.
This is good enough to make me want to investigate this world, for sure.
Yes.
And I have Marvel Unlimited now.
Yeah, right.
And so by the time I've read all of it... By the time I've read all of it, this will be on Marvel Unlimited. It's almost like it is portentous. So, there you go. Avengers of the Wasteland, pull or pass, Zach?
I think it's close. It's a pass, but purely because I kind of want to get caught up beforehand. So I think this will be a trade for me, or a Marvel Unlimited, like you say.
I think... I'm not going to read any more of it anytime soon, but I do want to read more of it. So it's a weird pass for me. And I've not read as much of the Old Man Whatever World. I've no interest in Old Man Quill because I didn't enjoy it when I read issue 1 of that. But I don't think that'll be...
I didn't mind the first issue of that. I just didn't stick with it. I think that was... I'll wait for the trade.
I don't think it'll be relevant to this anyway.
No, unless, Old Man Quill rocks up halfway through.
I'm going to have a little bit of Old Man Logan. I'm going to have a little bit of Old Man Hawkeye. And eventually I think I'll get to this.
To be fair, Old Man Logan, the extended series, has been something I've been meaning to get around to, because a significant chunk of it is by Jeff Lemire.
Oh, good.
So at some point it's going to happen.
Right. Shall we move on?
Let's.
Protector by Image. And the first thing I've written in my notes is that this is a proper post-apocalyptic setting.
It is.
There's been a lot of post-apocalyptic settings where they've kind of played with it and tried different versions of it, but this is what I'd call like old school and proper post-apocalypse. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it does one of the things that I am a huge fan of in post-apocalyptic stories, which is maintain the place names or words or whatever, but change the spellings, because that's how language works. And
I don't think that's how language works.
It totally is.
Is it?
I mean...
Can you give me an example? Actually, you're probably right. I mean... When English was English and it's formulated complicated ways of spelling things, the Americans went, nope.
Yeah, people change things.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Yorvik became York and things like that.
Okay, I'll buy that.
So I quite like the fact that Chicago is Chicago.
Yeah.
And little things like that, which aren't huge, but I feel like do inform the universe and let you know.
What was your thoughts on the art?
Right. This is my first note, and if you're going to get James Stokoe to do the cover, don't then get somebody else to do the interiors. It's Image. We didn't need... It feels like Stokoe has been brought in to do the cover, so people go, oh, James Stokoe. But then you open it, it's like, not James Stokoe.
I was really unsure of it. In a lot of ways, I felt it suited the vibe.
Yeah.
But I don't think I liked it.
It's a weird one for me, because the first, 4-5 pages, which were the preview that I've seen somewhere else, I don't know where we've seen it, but I know I've seen it, were not great. And then it gets better, almost as if the preview was drawn way before the rest of the comic.
Right.
So I think a few pages in, the art suddenly improves.
This was odd. This was a really odd book, one that I expected to thoroughly like. And I was like, going through it, I was like, I think I was put off by the art. And it had 2 separate plots that obviously will culminate quite quickly because it's a limited series. I think it's a 5 or 6 issue run. But I found myself really into one plot and not remotely invested in the other plot. So,
which plot were you invested in?
the good one.
The first one.
Yeah.
See, it was almost seeing the same plot from two different sides, in a way.
Yeah.
And I guess I totally understand. I think the first half was interesting, and I liked it, and the second half felt like it was informing me of the other side of the plot, but in a kind of, why now?
Yeah.
In the first issue, it felt a bit
and
randomly placed.
And beyond the two separate plots in the comic itself, the book was half comic and half illustrated encyclopedia of the world, which that it's set in.
I've made a note on that as well. The kind of encyclopedia back matter, I just had to give up on reading. It was painfully dull to read.
It was really heavy and really thick.
It felt like something that so it was it was like 6 entries from an encyclopedia. I think we needed 1 per issue, and I feel like if there's going to be that much back matter in every issue, it's a lot. I'm okay with that. It's our world in the future and it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
I don't really need you to tell me everything up front. If you wanted to give me a big, hey, this is what you didn't know at the end of the series, I think I'd be okay with that. I think I think between the plot jump halfway through and then the encyclopedia, it felt a bit like it didn't know what it was doing.
It also felt to me that this stuff that we got in the comic book itself was stuff that you'd get as bonus material in a trade.
Yes, a little bit. I
don't know.
Very weird feeling. Like
I don't think I liked it.
The art grew on me, and I like details of the world, and I'm kind of curious, but I'm curious in a way that I'm unsure about, because the two separate plots and the back matter were quite frustrating.
I thoroughly expected the on paper, but description only, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, limited series by Image. It sounds like something that it's
tailor-made for you.
Yes, and it didn't work for me. I was disappointed. I didn't hate it, but I certainly didn't like it enough.
I understand that. I think this is a trade read. I'm
not even sure it is. I think if someone whose opinion I respected and tended to like the same stuff subsequently read the trade and said it gets better, you'll like it, I would try it if they lent me the trade. But I can't, with the amount of good stuff out there and the gigantic pile of comic books next to my on my bedside table, I can't see this becoming a priority for me. So it's quite a hefty pass, unfortunately.
I can understand that. Unfortunately, yeah, for me as well, it is a kind of almost reluctant pass, because I was quite excited going into this. Like I say, I love the James Stokoe cover, and despite the disappointment, the art did grow on me. That the interior which is words I've written down, which is Artyom Trakhanov.
Good name.
Incredible name. I do quite like his art. Like I say, I feel like the beginning art evolves and almost improves as the issue goes on. Like it was a preview.
Is there some kind of symbolism that we're missing with that?
The art getting better?
Or getting different?
Maybe. Or it could just be, like I say, that it's been written over a period of time, drawn over a period of time. I don't know. Mixed feelings. I think it might be. Maybe it was just a unsteady first issue, and it's going to be really good in trade.
Who knows?
But I think it's a pass. But I'm kind of willing to keep an eye on it and see what we get in the future.
Fair enough. Let's move on to Quantum and Woody. And I did suggest we didn't put this on because the reality is we both really love Quantum and Woody. You love Quantum and Woody more than life, I think. And we actually got the special pre-order copy of it, so it's a slightly different version to the standard issue. Could you maybe explain what the differences are, Zach?
Yes. So the difference is essentially you get a different cover, which in this case is by Erica Henderson of Squirrel Girl fame. And you also get kind of a bonus back matter that is kind of just added to the middle of the comic, which is kind of an insert that covers kind of a bit. It kind of depends on the writer. So they've kind of gone comedy with the back matter here. So it kind of features, hey, this is the production that we did, and this is the uncoloured pages, and before we added the letters and different things like that. It shows you all the different covers and just kind of gives you.
Doesn't it give you this one gives you puzzles and colouring?
Yeah,
which made me laugh a lot.
It's got a Mad Libs approach to a thank you letter for reading the book and things like that. Which, like I say, I think it's Christopher Hastings going full comedy on back matter.
I like this concept a lot. I think it's a nice little reward for regular readers or people who put their faith in Valiant, and I think that's really nice that they do that. I not that I would ever tend to buy comics for resale value, but are these things particularly valuable compared to issue ones that don't have the special pre-order stuff going on? Do you know?
I'm honestly not sure. I think Valiant is a real curious one because it's got a lot of diehard fans, and I've ended up picking up a lot of 90s Valiant that I thought was hard to get because it was for a couple of quid. And I know there's some stuff in there that's worth a lot and hard to get, but unfortunately I think a lot of Valiant isn't worth.
I don't think many comics are worth much, are
they?
And that's why I'm fascinated about whether stuff like this actually makes a difference to...
I think it is harder to get the pre-order stuff after the fact because you do have to kind of... Valiant normally do things in 4-issue arcs, so you had to kind of commit to, I'm going to get all 4 and get your comic shop to get you the pre-order bundle.
Yes.
So if you don't tell the comic book shop you want the pre-order bundle, then it's basically impossible to get, is what I learned. When I worked in the comic book shop, what I learned is if you didn't get it early, you weren't getting that cover.
Fair enough.
It is difficult to get.
Well, then perhaps there is some value to it.
But I kind of, with Travelling Man, they've come to just assume with Valiant, I'm probably going to buy it. Usually, yeah.
This special front cover for the pre-order version was crazy, and I really like it. It's bonkers.
It is, and it's a villain that was joked about in pre-release interviews that was going to be a big deal. That is, sorry, I'm trying to read and be in the microphone. Is Dr. Toilet, or as Woody calls him, Dr. Toilet, which was joked about that he was going to be a big deal, and instead he's just on the cover and in one panel.
Yep,
and
funny.
I think commitment to weird jokes is kind of what makes Quantum and Woody work.
It's very Quantum and Woody, and in its whole attitude, I think that's cool. Before we actually talk about the comic, we've talked about the front cover, we talked about the special stuff that you get for the pre-order. The advert on the back was advertising something that was released on the 19th of November. I don't understand why.
I do.
Go on then.
Exo Man of War, the new series that Dennis Hopeless Hallam is working on, was announced basically last summer to come out in November. It's still not out. I think it's been pushed to March.
But it's got November on the the post.
I'm not 100% on why the advert hasn't been changed. But yeah, that was something I noticed, that it's kind of weird that the EXO advert's not been updated when clearly Valiant now know that it's not coming out in November.
How can they be so kind of clever, and this is our marketing, and this is our special stuff for our loyal readers, blah, 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 and then not spot that one of their own adverts has got a typo?
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that. It's a little bit of a weird one.
It is a weird one. Or maybe because it's Quantum and Woody, they're taking the mickey out of themselves.
Maybe. It could be an intentional self-rip, but
it doesn't look professional to me.
Yeah, it's a really odd one, and especially when the front's advertising Bloodshot coming out in March.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
I don't know. Really odd one. And as far as I know, Quantum and Woody is on schedule, so
yeah,
really odd. So let us dig into Quantum and Woody.
Yeah, let's actually talk about the comic.
For those of you who have not heard us talk about Quantum and Woody before, basically they're two adopted brothers who accidentally get superpowers that mean they have to meet once a day to clang. Power bracelets, quantum bands, if you will, together, or they cease to exist. You know how it is. I'm sure your jewellery is the only thing holding you together as well.
True.
I don't know if that was aimed at you, Mark, or the audience, or
right. I just automatically took it as an insult to my age, but you know that's fine.
So this is the third Quantum Woody series of the new Valiant era, which is 2012 onwards. There was also a series in the 90s, which is real good.
It is very good.
This is good. I don't think I'm as into this as I was with the previous series. I was really invested in the 2017 series, which was Dan Kibblesmith, and then Elliot Rahal took over.
There was a lot to like about this, I thought. But
there was.
Maybe you've got a point there that it's not quite hitting what it's hit in the past.
I think I was really excited for the 2017 series because I'd read the kind of 2013 through 2015 series, and then I had to wait 2 years, and in that time I had nothing but I can't wait for more Quantum Woody. With this, so with the 12-issue run that came before it, and then the trades, it's kind of, and we reread all of Quantum Woody for Comic Book Club a couple of months ago. So it's not been that long since I've kind of revisited the last series.
So you've not had time to miss it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm as excited as I was. I'm still excited, and I'm still glad we got it, and I still think this is funny, and you've got kind of, you know, a plot to attack Congress from a
which is
psychotic superpowered family.
Yeah,
you've got,
they were super creepy, and I
thought they were
great.
The masks.
They were great. I really thought they were great. The bad guys.
I can't think how Quantum describes it. So Woody has a kind of Super Saiyan styling where he presents visions of the future, which is bizarre, but bizarre, new to Quantum Woody, and I do like it. I liked that this does carry on from the previous series. My only thing is, I would have liked an immediate continuation. I think the way the previous run ended, there are two characters that they were with at the end of that series who are now unmentioned, and that bothers me. I kind of want to see what
maybe we'll see them later on.
I hope we do, because again, with the 2013 series to the 2017 series, there's certain characters there that disappeared. Quantum had a girlfriend at the end of the first series that we never see at the end of the second series. If we now don't see his wife from the second series in the third series, that's going to be kind of an annoying.
But isn't that very Quantum and Woody?
It is
kind of taking the mickey out of you and not taking its and having a weird continuation that suits them. I kind of like that. I think it works.
Don't get me wrong, I'm okay with that, and I do think it does work for Quantum and Woody.
It's a fun, light-hearted
I did like
romp.
the characters we had.
Yeah.
I liked Quantum's wife, and I liked Woody's psychiatrist. And it would be nice to see what happened with them. But that might be dealt with in issue 2, for all we know. He could still be married, and he could still be in therapy.
He could.
He should definitely still be in therapy. He's got a lot of things going on.
They should both probably be in therapy.
Yeah, they've got a real codependency thing.
Yeah, clang.
I've kind of got away from my own points here. I think it's a good balance of comedy, action, the ludicrous. Quantum punching that kid is
wonderful, just gold.
I think that's kind of all the things I had to say. But
so pull or pass.
I mean, I've already pulled it. So
I know.
On positives, Ryan Brown's the artist who also did Curse Words, and I like that there's stuff like little angry lines coming off Quantum that are then commented next to these are rage lines, and little weird jokes in the artwork I do like, and I think it's a funny first issue.
Yeah.
And
I enjoyed it.
It sets up some new things, and I think between the new creative team and the fact that Valiant basically let people do more or less what they want, gives it quite a free-form superhero feel.
For me, this is a pull, but it's a kind of full disclosure. I'm definitely going to read it. but I'm probably going to read yours.
Yeah, I thought you might say that.
Because I knew you were going to get it.
Feels like cheating.
It does feel a little bit like cheating, doesn't it? But YOLO.
YOLO indeed.
Did you see that? I did a referential joke to last week. I'm
yeah,
proud
I mean,
of it.
We've got continuity.
I'm proud of it. We've got more continuity than Quantum and Woody. We've both still got the same partners from last week.
We do. We're doing great.
Yeah, go team. Let's talk about next week's comics. We are doing Ant-Man from Marvel, #1. We're doing Backtrack from the Oni Press and After Realm Quarterly from Image. Now,
yes.
They weren't my suggestions because it was quite a weird week.
It's a very weird week for comics next week.
I didn't actually look. I probably should have done. After Realm Quarterly, is it going to be quarterly?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we can technically pull it. It's just going to be a wait.
So is it a completely new title, or is it like Judge Dredd Magazine was a spin-off from 2000 AD and that's monthly?
From what I could glean from the description, it's following on from, I think, a one-shot series called Ragnarok about the kind of, fall of Asgard and whatnot.
Okay.
So
someone else's take on like the Norse gods mythos.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So there has been some stuff before it, but obviously we haven't tackled that, so we'll see.
I hope it's good. I mean, I've seen Thor Mythos obviously played with by Marvel, and there was a Alan Moore relatively obscure one, Top 10, which also played with it, and I liked that.
Neil Gaiman got into it a little bit in Sandman.
He did, and
he also wrote a book about Norse.
He did, which I enjoyed less than I thought I would, unfortunately, and I really like Neil Gaiman normally. So I like the Norse gods, so that should be fun, and yeah, I'm quite excited about all three of these really, because we don't read much Oni Press, so
no, we don't.
Like
I'm glad we've got an Oni Press title, and it's the first one we've done. I think
it is,
but I think we've got a good spread. I'm glad we've got 2 indie books. I like it when we can cover some more obscure stuff, and
we're struggling.
Not even obscure. One of them's Image, but
yeah, we're struggling with DC at the moment. It seems like there's no #1s at all, other than I can only think of Metal Men, other than Black Label stuff that they're releasing as #1s.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if it was for Geek of the Week, but I know we did the Lois Lane #1. But that was forever ago, and
that was 8 months ago because I just saw it in the comic book shop and it was on #8, so that was Geek of the Week.
So it seems like DC are going heavy on Black Label, and
which I have no problem with.
It's just
we're not reading any classic DC, not classic, you know what I mean, standard DC, whatever you want to call it.
It feels like they're not doing a lot of #1s, and it feels like they're not launching many new DC titles.
No,
I'm not sure why that is, and maybe I worry that they're putting everything into Black Label and kind of not putting much into
Marvel. We're completely spoilt for choice. This week alone, there were four, maybe 5 #1s that we could have picked.
And next week's the same. And Marvel, I think you sent me an article about the first 3 months of the year, Marvel's releases, and there's like
it's insane.
Marvel are releasing like 30 books a month that are somewhat new series, and DC are doing 1 or 2.
I absolutely don't want to do this because I want a nice balance on the show, but we could probably just make this show about Marvel new issue #1s.
We could easily do a Marvel show, and
not just once in a while, every week almost.
I mean, yeah, true. I'm happy that we're playing a bit loose with the 1 Marvel, 1 DC, 1 Image.
We're having to, to be honest with you.
I just think it's nice to cover a spread of indie titles, and I think there's a lot of, dare we say it, alternative podcasts that cover Marvel and DC. So I think it's nice to...
we're both more into indies than we are Marvel and
DC
lot of
the time.
These days, really.
Don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of love for Marvel and DC.
Oh, I've got a lot of love for Marvel.
Harsh. But I like that we're covering some indie books. I mean, we've had 2 this week, we're going to have 2 next week. I mean, Valiant is cheating if it's an indie, but it's still a huge superhero universe.
Valiant's great.
Yeah. And Image is, let's be honest, Image is a real big publisher.
I just love Image. I love it so much. I love it in the face.
I'm glad we've covered quite a good variety of books, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And with that in mind, that's all we've got time for on Pull or Pass this week. We've pulled, we've passed.
We're going to do it all again next week.
And we will see you then.
Thanks for listening to Pull or Pass. To listen again, it's www.mixcloud.com/pull-or-pass.
Or you can listen to the podcast version on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and all other good podcast sites.
Join our Facebook group, search for Pull or Pass Radio Show.
Follow us on Twitter @PullOrPass.